Hey everyone, Will here from Mature Minded Gamers, and today we're going to be talking about Star Wars The Outer Rim. This one is designed by Konieczka. Tony Fanchi plays 1 to 4 players in 2 to 3 hours or so. You're going to be either a smuggler, a bounty hunter, a pirate, just doing different objectives. It reminds me a lot of Zaya Legend of a Drift system where you could be whatever you want to be. Han Solo that's trying to be a bounty hunter. Boba Fett that's just trying to be a standard smuggler. You can do what you want. You're going to get different ships. You're going to upgrade those ships. You're going to upgrade your character. A really awesome game. Let's dive to the table, take a look, and we'll be right back with our final thoughts. Alright, as you can see, this game does take up a lot of space, especially if you're trying to condense everything down in to get it within camera shot. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking and everybody's going to be selecting a character. There are 8 different characters to choose from. And I am going to be kind of just showing you up with the perspective of my personal favorite, IG-88. So on IG-88's card, you're going to set up your dashboard, set your reputation at 0, pick your starter ship, which is either between the Rigger and the Starfighter. So it's 2 different options here based on different abilities. So, I mean, you've got speed, you've got weapons, you've got your armor, and then again, speed, weapons, armor. A little bit better as far as a fighter, but not as maneuverable or as fast, depending on how you're wanting to play. You're going to take your character and go to the setup side, and it's going to specifically tell you what card you need to set up. So it's going to say setup card 90. Okay, right in there in that little text. So you're going to go through this massive deck of cards. Okay, these are all the story cards that come with the game, or some of the story cards, I should say. And you're going to find the 4 cards that have the 90, represented by the number of pips on the card. You're going to, at random, grab one, and you're going to use this to set up your character. This one says starting planet of Konieczka. So I'm going to find Konieczka on my map here, and when I get over here, I'm going to be starting on Konieczka. I have a bounty. This one is Elimination Ward, gave 5,000 money and 1 fame. Capture Ward, deliver Black Sun Agent's token to Ryloth to gain 10,000 and 1 fame. After you gain a reward from this card removed from the game. So on this card, what's going to be telling you is you are looking for a gray character with a combat value of 2. Pretty basic, right? So on the map here, you're going to notice that there are lots of these little tokens on the board. Okay? And there's specific spots for each one of these. It's gray or the gray, green, or yellow. After you place those out at random, you don't know what's there. So your job is to move around the map, stopping on those little nav points. So if you're going to be moving like 6, for example, 1, 2, 3, you got to follow these blue line paths. Okay? So I am looking specifically for a gray character. Don't know where he is. There's 2 on this, or there's 1 on this planet, 1 on this planet, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So not that many spots he can be, but at the same time, I've got other objectives that I want to accomplish. Now, when I will end my turn on a space, I'm also going to be drawing cards. But let's start at the beginning. So on your turn, you're going to be doing the player turn, which is there is a plan step, which move up your ship's speed, or you can gain 2,000 money, recover all damage required if you are defeated. And then after that, after you do one of those things, then you can do your action stuff. So for on my turn, I'm going to move my speeds, my ship's value of 6. So I'm going to move here to Ord Mantell, looking for my bounty of the Black Sun Agent. Okay? So for my action step, I can either deliver cargo. Okay? I can market action. Alright, so in each of these decks, this is the market. There are different things that I could do, I could pick up, I can purchase. Okay? There are things that cost 0, 3,000, 2,000, 15,000, 10,000, and 0. So if I want to specifically become a bounty hunter, I know that I need to pull out of this deck. If I want gear, I need to pull out of this deck. If I want different ships, cargo, more gear, and jobs. So each of these decks is broken down into lots of different categories. So like, for example, this deck here has 2 jobs and a whole bunch of bounties. So I know that this deck is primarily bounty missions. You can see by the handcuffs. All right, so we know we are looking for 4 LOM if we take on this bounty. It doesn't cost any money to take it on. What we can get in this deck is primarily gear, cargo, different jobs, different crew we could pick up, which is pretty cool. So what we would do then is we could buy this for 10,000 money and gain this benefit. Okay, got it. And then over here, we've got ships we could buy. We've got cargo. We've got gear. We've got jobs. And again, each of these decks, this one has one specific modification you could get or different cargo that you can pick up. So ultimately, what do I want to do? Well, maybe I want to take another bounty mission. I could be looking for another green target. I could maybe even take this job over here. This one is... let's see here. An influential HUD is angry that someone is encroaching on her territory and wants you to find out who is responsible. Destination Ord Mantell. I am there. Encounter test influence. If you pass, complete this job. If you fail, resolve card number 41. Reward, gain 5,000 money and 1 HUD reputation. If you already have positive HUD reputation, you also gain 1 syndicate reputation and gain 1 fame, and then discard this card. Well, something we haven't talked about is reputation. This moves up on down on these marks, these little sliders here, which is pretty nice for what they included in this game, is these recessed player boards that have these recessed slots for these sliders to go in, as well as a peg to be able to keep your reputation. A nice little spot for the cards, and then the ship on this side. The different gear you can upgrade here, the different cargo, as well as the different jobs and bounties on the bottom. Now, the one side problem that I have is they do tend to be a little warped, so you've kind of got to be careful about that. So decent quality, could have been a little bit thicker. That would have made them a lot sturdier, but hey, it is what it is, and it's nice that they have anything at all. So that's pretty cool. So we get to deliver some cargo. We get to take a market action. So we could trade cards with mono service. Let's go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and take this job here. So we could take that job. The next one gets flipped up. All right. And then now we have another job, a casino heist that we can do. All right, so we are IG-88. We have a job, trying to get HUD favor. We also have a bounty we can do. Now we're going to do an encounter step. So we get to choose one. We fight a patrol, and then resolve an encounter card or resolve a contact token. Well, we want to try to get this contact token, so let's see who is here. Well, this one, is the Black Sun agent. And I'll be honest, guys, I did not plan it that way, but hey, it worked out in our favor. All right, so then what players are going to do is the player to your left is going to be rolling the combat dice for the Black Sun agent for me. I'm going to be rolling my combat dice to the 3. So IG-88 is going to roll his 3 dice. He has 1 success and then no effect if it is the eyeball, which if you guys notice, these are the same dice that you get for attack wing, but they're just in golden color. So we've got no successes, no effects, so he's going to suffer 1 damage. And because I have more successes than him, then I win the combat. Now, once I've won, I get to decide, do I want to eliminate the Black Sun agent or do I want to capture him? The reason I would want to eliminate is because I can gain 5,000 credits and 1 fame. If I can successfully deliver this Black Sun agent's token to Ryloth, which if I look at the map, where is Ryloth? Ryloth actually is right next to me, so that is going to be actually pretty easy. I'm going to gain 10,000 and still gain the fame. So what I can do is I can just actually keep this character that I have successfully captured him, and I'm going to be able to deliver him because I have successfully captured him. My next game turn is going to come around. I get to move my ship, so I get to go 1, 2, 3, deliver it, and be done, which is pretty cool. Some of the other things you can do when you're on a planet. So let's say you're in the encounter step. You don't have a patrol to fight. You don't have a contact token you want to flip over or resolve. What you can do is there are a set of cards that correspond to each of the 6 boards that are out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 10 of these, and you're going to be grabbing one, shuffling them up, grabbing one, and this is another step that you can do during the encounter step. So if you're on Ryloth, you'll do this. If you're on Naboo, you do this. So if we're on Ryloth now, it says a local rebel cell is running dangerously low on supplies. You may discard 1 of your cargo, gear, or mods to gain 4,000 credits and 1 rebel reputation. If you already have positive rebel reputation, instead of gaining credits, gain 1 fame and lose 1 imperial reputation. So you'll be able to do different things there, which is pretty cool. Other times you may grab these cards that say secret. So if you draw this one, for example, and you're on Ryloth, you're going to take this as secret. Cham Symbola needs your help retaliating against the Empire. When you win combat against an Imperial patrol, you may discard this card to gain 1 fame and 1 rebel reputation. which is pretty cool. You got kind of like little secret objectives you're trying to do. You don't read those out loud. So, I mean, your opponent kind of knows, hey, something's up because he's not reading the card, something's going on, which is pretty interesting. Other things you can do is, again, you can buy these gear. When you buy the gear, it goes into your gear slot up here. Gains you different things, like for example right here I gain some additional armor. When I gain the reward from a bounty, you may reduce the bounty's credit reward to 0 to gain 1 additional fame. And again, getting to 10 fame is the key to victory. If on the same turn players pass that, then the player with the highest wins, or the fact that if you want to play a longer game, get to 12. Different ships you can buy, like you can get this ship here, and then you would just grab the corresponding card that represents the ship. So, when you look at like the Shadowcaster, you got the Shadowcaster, which is awesome, but on the flip side, it's just a Lancer class pursuit craft, 645, and then on this side, it becomes the Shadowcaster. Now, how do you upgrade it? Well, you're going to be doing different abilities, like you got to deliver a contact on one of your bounty cards to gain 1 fame and flip this sheet. That's how it goes from the Lancer to become the Shadowcaster. Again, a modified YT 1300 light freighter ship goal. If you either 2 mods or 1 mod in the Chewbacca crew, deliver 1 cargo to gain 1 fame, and then make it the Millennium Falcon, which is pretty awesome. Then also on your character sheets, you have something very similar. On this one, to be able to flip once per, and special ability, once per combat, you may roll any number of your dice. Action, take 1 droid crew from another player in your space. Personal goal, you have 2 droid crew to gain 1 fame and flip this card. Once I flip this card, I gain some additional abilities. When you become defeated, you may discard 1 of your crew to recover all damage from character and ship instead. So basically, they take 1 for the team, which is pretty awesome. You think maybe instead of them actually being crew, they're IG-88B, A, things like that. And all of these different locations you go to have different kinds of events, and you kind of know what's going to be inside. So for by Konieczka, it's gambling and crew. At Ord Mantell, you can find gear and credits. Here at Ryloth, you can get buy ships and selling things. Cargo and reputation at Naboo. You've got Mon Calamari. You can get jobs and movement. Fight players and rewards at Lothal. So lots of different things you could do on this game. You're going to be going around, taking your turns, flying around the map, completing what kind of jobs and missions you want to do. All the while, these patrols are going to be moving out when different types of cards happen. So like, for example, when this card goes away, you're going to move the Rebel token 3 spaces this way. And if you're going to be, playing your turn and you are negative reputation, you're flying along and you go over a token that is a Rebel reputation, you have to stop if you're negative with them. So, I mean, different things are going to happen. Then you flip this over and you're going to have a space battle with this ship, getting different rewards if you destroy them. And it's just so engaging, so fun. Let's go back up to my final thoughts. All right, so that was Star Wars Outer Rim. That is, wow, there's a lot going on in this game. There is a lot of different story elements and variable things that can happen. Different upgrades you could take, different armor, different weapons. Upgrading your ship is really cool. The way that you explore the galaxy following those paths reminds me a lot of Merchants of Venus in a way. But also it gives you a sense of go wherever, do whatever you want, while having restrictions like you have the Syndicate, you have the Hutts, you have the Rebels, you have the Imperials, and you've got to worry about how you stand with each of those factions to be able to accomplish those tasks. I mean, if you want, you can just go after the Rebel Alliance and just blow them away and then earn victory points that way. Really cool game. We've enjoyed it quite a bit. I like the aspect you be Han Solo doing whatever you want. You can have the IG-2000 as your ship if you want. You can, if you get the Millennium Falcon, even better. But, it doesn't matter. In a couple games, we had Boba Fett as a crew member, had Chewbacca. And I just thought that was really cool. All the different characters, you don't know where they're going to be on the map. And you got to go out and explore and find. And then if you pick up different missions here, pick up different missions depending on where you are. Each zone of the map has different things that you're going to get. Like if you're on, like Kessel, you may have different types of missions or different types of events. And you're in free space, you may have different types of events that pop up. And depending on what planet you're on, you're going to find different types of armor or allies. And it's just a really cool game that lends itself to creating your own Star Wars story. And I think that is very, very exciting. Reminds me so much of Zaya, mixed in a little bit of the Fallout board game from Fantasy Flight as well, where you're going to have the different story elements on the cards. I like this one a lot better than the Fallout story system because it seems like there's a lot more options on cards as far as like on story elements. Like when we were playing the Fallout game, it was very, oh, you've done this before. You definitely don't want to do that again, because you were hearing the same missions and objectives almost every single time you play it. But this one, because of the so many cards and so many different areas that you're going to be going to, no two games are going to be the same. And while you may hear, if you play this a lot, you may hear the same story elements coming up, I don't really think that's going to be a problem, because the different ways and the different upgrades you're going to get, the different ships, the different crew members, the different missions you're going to take, the different ways you play, so good, so good. So you've got to check this one out. I really hope Fantasy Flight does eventually come out with expansions. I mean, come on, it is Fantasy Flight. But this game has been out for a while. We haven't heard anything yet. So I'm getting a little nervous. I would love to see them come out with something, but I don't know if we should hold our breath. But this game is definitely an A+. If you're a Star Wars fan, get it. You're going to love it. I guarantee it. So, all right, everyone, that was Will from Mature Minded Gamers. Hit that like and subscribe button, and comment in the section below and tell us what you think of this game, what you think if Fantasy Flight is ever going to come out with an expansion. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But until then, everyone, keep on playing.